Hey guys, it's been a long time since I made a video last, but I thought I would give it a go. I've wanted to make this video in particular for a long time, but I just have been really lazy, and there's just constantly been someone home, so I just don't really want to be overheard, especially in this kind of topic. Firstly, my hair is a mess because I can't be bothered trading it because I'm bleaching it today, so say goodbye to my brown hair. My pyjamas, my room's a mess because I'm just like planning on studying all day. And anyway, I should get back to the topic. This video is about eating disorder misconceptions. The reason I'm making it right now is because lately something was said to me by a professional, and it's really frustrated me and made me feel even worse about myself in a way. Firstly, I just like to put a disclaimer that I myself am not diagnosed with an eating disorder. Secondly, I'm not a professional. Anything I say can be up for discussion, can be wrong depending on which country you live, or yeah, I don't know. And thirdly, I don't promote any form of eating disorder or any unhealthy habits. I just like to clear things up. A while back I asked a few people on Tumblr to send me some eating disorder misconceptions that they have been told, they've heard, things like that. And that's how I'd like to start the video. Firstly, it's anorexics don't eat at all. Now, anorexia nervosa is obviously an eating disorder that's quite serious, and I personally don't think that that statement is true at all. They do eat, or else they'd be dead in 30 days. I think many anorexics restrict, or they purge the little that they do eat. And yeah, like sometimes anorexics don't eat in front of others, which might create the misconception that they don't eat at all. But I just know that, you know, many of the people that suffer with disordered eating or whatever find it really hard to eat in front of people. That's why I don't really eat in front of anyone except for my best friend. So yeah, by the way, yeah, if there's anything you'd like to add about what I say, just comment below or whatever. Yeah, so that's my first one. Calorie counting isn't always a sign of an eating disorder. That's true. I think it's a symptom, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone who calorie counts has an eating disorder. I believe that many people that do calorie count tend to merely do it for the fact that they want to stay healthy, or they want to lose weight, you know, healthily, like at least eat by eating 1,500 calories a day plus. So yeah, like, I do know that many people with eating disorders do calorie count, because it's kind of comes with the whole afraid of food thing. Yeah, but another thing that I just want to add is that by calorie counting and not necessarily having an eating disorder, that can also start an eating disorder in itself. Like, at the beginning of my whole thingy, I did a lot of that, and it kind of just impacted a lot on starving and restricting and stuff like that. So I just want people to know that, just to be careful if you are calorie counting, because sometimes it can be really addictive in itself, and yeah, it's not always the best idea. The main thing is, if you want to lose weight or if you are calorie counting, is to go to a dietitian or a nutritionist and just hear what they have to say and allow them to construct a meal plan for you, because that's probably the best way to go about it. Yeah. Okay. There's a few here, some of them I don't really get, so I'm just skipping some if that's okay. This one, strangle anyone who says this. Eating disorders are a phase. Firstly, yes, some of them may be a phase, but not the conventional phase. I think that in many people's lives, they've probably experienced even a little bit of this kind of disordered eating thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a phase. Sometimes, I don't want to sound like an idiot, basically, but sometimes, yes, when you do go through puberty, you go through all these changes, and you become a lot more self-conscious, especially when you have people like telling you things about your appearance, or making negative comments, and it kind of just puts you in this mindset of like an unhealthy mindset. And sometimes when you are constantly exposed to the media, and like especially like those pictures of girls with flag abs and things like that, yes, it might trigger you into an eating disorder. But yes, eating disorders are not phases. An eating disorder is a mental illness, and it's a serious one. It's not like, oh, that will go away in a year, because the fact that in a year that person can be dead. That's how serious things can be. I think the statistic was 20% of anorexia sufferers die. I could be wrong, but I think that was the statistic, and that's really scary. And I think that if that was caught from the beginning, then it could, the number could go down drastically, because I know that you can't be diagnosed with anorexia nervosa per se unless you're underweight. That doesn't mean you don't have anorexia if you're not underweight, but it just means, I don't know, the system's so screwed up, because they're basically getting people to be underweight before they're like, yeah, okay, you have a problem now, let's fix it. It's like, you've been through all this long, hard effort of this eating disorder, and then right at the end of it, like when you're close to death, that's when they're like, yeah, you have a problem, let's fix it, when it's too late. That's so screwed up, and it angers me so much, because basically I seldom admit to having an eating disorder, even though I've been struggling for like 2 years. There was starving at the beginning, and then kind of turned into consistent binging and purging. Even though I do it a few times a day, laxatives and things like that. My counsellor was like, yeah, you don't have an eating disorder, you have a disordered eating. And it really hurt, I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel like all my struggles aren't validated, they're not real, because I'm not underweight. And you don't even have to be underweight to have bulimia, but it's just this misconception of, you can only have an eating disorder if you're underweight. I think that's complete bullshit. You can be freaking 200 kilos overweight and you could still have an eating disorder. It's a mind thing. Eating disorders are a disorder of the mind, not of the body, and people really have to understand that. It frustrates me so much, and it's also the fact that the media, basically, I think, the media romanticizes eating disorders, portrays it as something beautiful, something, that for people underweight and stuff, but they just leave us feeling even worse about ourselves, and make us doubt whether we have a problem, and therefore we're more reluctant to go get help and get better, when we might be struggling just as much as someone who's underweight. Next, before I go on a massive tangent, recovery is just getting the ill person to a correct weight. That's not necessarily true. I know a lot of people with eating disorders are afraid of recovery because they see it as just getting fat. And yes, a lot of places do like get the person to a healthy weight and then they're like, yeah, okay, bye, you're a healthy weight, you're fine. When, as I said before, it's a disorder of the mind, not of the body. The person, if they're just left alone after they're healthy weight, they'll probably go straight back into their habits, and that's not a good thing. So yeah, you have to get help in an adequate place because many places are just not good, or they might not suit your needs. So if that's happened to you, or if you've been treated unfairly, or you haven't gotten the correct help, then keep searching because there's someone out there that can help you. You don't eat unhealthy food if you have an ED. That's not true, obviously. No, I don't want to like use blanket terms and things like that, but in terms of anorexia, I do believe that I think they're more inclined to eat healthier food because it's the low calorie things and they don't want to get fat and things like that. So I don't know. It varies for individuals because you can't just compare everyone and put them under this whole blanket term where everyone suffers in their own ways. But I can say that especially bulimia sufferers, ednos, and more likely binge eaters, they eat unhealthy food. I know myself, during binges and stuff, that's the like main food I go to. I'm not gonna go binge and purge on vegetables, like, you know. So yeah, I think especially people with ednos, they go back and forth between healthy and unhealthy food. So yeah, um, sorry, I'm taking a while, but I'm just trying to find out which one's best because I don't really have much time left. I don't know, there's just a lot of misconceptions out there, and I think these misconceptions affect a lot of people because they make us think that our struggling isn't real, or things like that, and they make us feel worse about ourselves and make us even sicker than we originally were. So yeah, there's probably thousands more misconceptions. If you'd like another one of these videos, shoot me a message on Tumblr or leave a comment below. You know, just give me more misconceptions to go through. So yeah, I think the whole point of this video is to say that there is no specific weight bracket for people with eating disorders. They come in many, eating disorders come in many forms, sizes, and they don't necessarily have to, the people that like suffer with them don't necessarily have to follow a specific cliche kind of thing. Like they don't have to eat healthy food constantly or exercise every minute of every day. You know, people, if you like think about people in general, everyone's different in their own ways, and therefore people with eating disorders can be equally as different and have equally as different habits to someone with an eating disorder, another eating disorder. I don't know if I'm making sense, but hopefully you get my point that people suffer in different ways, and just because someone might be suffering more doesn't mean that your struggles aren't real. So yeah, basically if anyone's struggling, just shoot me a message, I can try to help you, but more importantly, reach out for help. I'll put a link in the description of a page on my Tumblr of all the recovery places you can go to website wise. And yeah, sorry about the ugly, but yeah, I just have to quickly get ready for this. TTYL, thanks for watching guys.